Terence Bud Crawford has a fight coming up on August the 3rd. That's right around the corner. But Eddie Hearn feels that Terence won't even win that fight. But if he does beat Madrimov, he'll have no other choice but to fight Jaron Boots Ennis. Let's talk about it. Let's break it all down in this video. But before we do that, make sure you hit my like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's cook. Like I said, Terence Bud Crawford finally making his long-awaited ring return since putting down a demolition on Errol Spence. A lot of people still suffering from watching Errol Spence get beat down like he did. And if you ask me, I'm going to keep it real. This coming from an Errol Spence fan. No, I'm not suffering. No, I was never suffering because I know that it's entertainment to me. I wasn't the one in the ring. I don't take this shit that serious, right? But I'm not speaking for everybody else. Other people, they take it a lot more serious than I do. But I think that Errol Spence is still suffering because that man ain't really calling for no smoke, no run back with Terence Bud Crawford. Like, that's what I didn't expect. I thought that Errol Spence was going to do anything he could to get his run back. But last time we heard Errol Spence talk, man, it was like, shit, this might be my last fight if I fight Fundora. So we see what it is. But shout out to Errol Spence, man. He had a great career, and more than anything, man, he's a real, like, I go off of these fighters' characters, and he have one of the best characters, right, as far as just being real and authentic in all the boxing. To me, that's my opinion. But now that Terence Bud Crawford no longer has an Errol Spence rematch on the table, and we know that was a big fight for Bud, right? Another big fight that he really, really wanted was Canelo Alvarez. Now, when it comes to Canelo Alvarez and Terence Bud Crawford, people have different opinions on why Bud Crawford wanted the Canelo Alvarez fight, right? A lot of people feel that he just wanted that fight because he wanted a retirement fight, a fight that he could get a whole lot of money from and then walk away with a huge bag. A cash out fight. That's how a lot of people felt. Other people felt that Bud Crawford wanted that fight to solidify his legacy, to show people that he was on a whole nother level, that he could beat Canelo Alvarez, go up 3 weight divisions, and put hands on Canelo. But the truth is, nobody knows but Bud Crawford, right? I'm not in that man's head. You're not in that man's head. He's the only one that really knows the truth behind why he wanted to fight Canelo Alvarez. But that fight's not happening. It's not happening. And I'm sick of content creators continue to push the narrative. Media members continue to push the narrative that Terence Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez is a possible fight. It's not a possible fight. Canelo Alvarez has said on multiple occasions that he's not going to fight Terence Bud Crawford under no circumstances for no amount of money. So if a man continues to tell you that, why are people still making videos, and why is the media still putting out news with Terence Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez? Like, this shit is just getting ridiculous. So that fight is not happening. Let's stop talking about that fight. People have their opinions on why that fight is not happening. We know it's not happening because Canelo, but people have their opinions. Some believe that Canelo's not going to take the fight because he's in a lose-lose situation. If he beat the hell out of Bud Crawford, he won't get no credit for it. People going to say, well, you just brought a man up from 3 weight classes, right? You're supposed to do that. Then, if he loses, and it's going to ruin his whole reputation. It's going to ruin him. A lot of people feel that way. Other people feel that Canelo don't want to take the fight because he can't beat Bud. He thinks that Bud is more skillful than him, and the easy way out is just not taking the fight like he's doing to Benavidez, right? It's all opinions. We don't really know why he's really not taking the fight. We only can give our opinion and assume why. But it ain't happening. That's all we know. So, when you look at the landscape, people saying that Bud Crawford wants to become undisputed at 154 pounds. But we got to ask ourselves, How possible is it for him to become undisputed at 154 when we look at the whole landscape of 154 pounds now that Jermell Charlo has been stripped of all the belts, right? Bud Crawford is fighting Madrimov for the WBA and the WBO, right? Unification in one fight. So right there, that's 2 belts already for Terence Bud Crawford. Now, the WBC, Fundora has the WBC over there at PBC. Fundora and Errol Spence, they're supposed to fight each other. Now, we know how the PBC rock. We know, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect to the PBC, but if you're not willing to sign a contract with them, they ain't willing to do no business with you like that. Bud has already seen that, right? So, if it's not Errol Spence that wins against Fundora, will Bud even get a chance to fight for the WBC strap? It's going to be very, very hard. And Bud don't have long left in the sport because in September, he'll be 37 years old. Well, let's go look at the IBF championship. Bakram Marchalov, he has that belt. And I'm probably saying his name wrong, but I'm saying his name wrong because we don't know who he is. Yeah, the IBF champion at 154, he don't have a name because we don't have no idea who he is. So when it comes to Bud Crawford grabbing the IBF belt, who gonna pay for that fight? Turkey Al-Sheikh ain't gonna pay for Bud to fight 2 no-name opponents that nobody know back to back. That ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? It's not a big fight. Nobody knows who he is. And now we have a problem because Bud Crawford, like I said, he don't have long left in the sport. He ain't got no big fights on the table if it ain't Errol Spence. And we don't even know if Errol Spence is going to beat Fundora. Shit, we don't even know if Errol Spence even going to fight Fundora. We don't know what he doing. So when you look at the landscape, it's going to be very hard for Terence Bud Crawford to become undisputed at 154. It ain't easy like it was for him to do it at 140 over a top rank, right? When he first did it, right? This gonna be difficult because all these belts are scattered besides the 2 that he had, but the other 2 belts are scattered. And like I said, the IBF, it ain't a big fight. Ain't nobody paying for that. And by the time he has to go through all of the hoops to be undisputed, he'll be 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? Is he going to wait around that long? Nah. Bud want that money. He done told us he want that money. I don't know how much money he getting for this Madrimov fight, but after that, he going to want more money than what he get now. And the only fight is Jaron Boots Ennis. Now, of course, Boots is going to have to go to 154. I hear Boots. He says that, hey, if it's a Bud fight, he want it. He'll go up to 154 for that fight, right? We've also heard Boots say that he's focused on 147 because he wants to become undisputed. Well, scratch becoming undisputed because you kind of in the same position, probably even in the worse position than Bud is when we talking about becoming undisputed. It's going to be very, very hard for Jaron Ennis to become undisputed at 147. For one, them dudes don't want to fight you. Besides Brian Norman, because my boy B. Norman, he gonna take on any smoke. But it's a lot more belts out there. It's 3 more belts. For 2, all of those belts are scattered around. So are you willing to stay at that weight division for 3 more years? We know how boxing go, man. We know how boxing is. Are you willing to stay around at 147 for that long to become undisputed? Because I'm hearing Jaron Ennis saying that, you know, by the middle of next year, he hopes to be undisputed and then to move up to 154. Bruh, I'm sorry to tell you, in a year and a half, it ain't gonna happen. Let's just be realistic. You're not gonna be able to get all these dudes to fight you, right? So we can cancel all of that. You know what I'm saying? Unless he's willing to just wait around at 147 for the next 2.5, 3 years, it ain't happening. So the only fight for both of these fighters, Jaron Ennis, Terence Crawford, is each other. A lot of certain fans don't want to see it because you're scared for your fighter to take an L. But if you want to see the best fight the best, this is the best fighting the best from 147 to 154. They don't have no choice but to fight each other if they both want a big fight. Let me know how y'all feel about this. Drop a comment in the comment section. Make sure you hit my like button, subscribe to the channel, and y'all already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.